Learning herbalism is not about recipes, it's about relationship. There's a moment I see again and again in women who are drawn to herbal medicine. They've read the books, they've saved the posts, they've tried the teas and all of the remedies, and yet something still hasn't clicked. They don't feel confident, they don't feel grounded, and they don't feel like they actually know what it is they're doing. And often I find that they wonder deep inside, why does herbalism still feel so confusing even though I've been learning for years? If that's you, I want to say this gently and clearly. The problem is not you. The problem is the way that herbalism has been taught. Because real herbalism was never meant to be learned through recipes alone. It was meant to be learned through relationship. Modern herbalism is starting in the wrong place. It's a take this herb for this reason, use this blend for stress. Oh, a remedy for digestion or sleep or anxiety or the hormones or inflammation. Here you go, try this herb. And at first, that could feel really helpful. But over time, something subtle happens. You begin to rely on these instructions instead of understanding, instead of developing relationship and intuition with the plants. You're actually using other people's certainty instead of your own. And you might find yourself asking questions like, am I doing this right? Is this the correct herb? What if I mess up? Is this safe? Right? And that's what I call the recipe trap. Recipes without relationship create dependency, not confidence. And at herbalism, in its heart, it is meant to return you to your own power, to your own inner wisdom, your own inner knowing. So for most of human history, herbal medicine wasn't learned from charts or TikToks or Google or ChatGPT. It was learned through observation and repetition and practice and apprenticeship. It was learned through lived experience, going out and picking the flowers, picking the herbs, making teas, making preparations. In this way, we learned about plants the way we met and learned about a trusted friend. You noticed how the plants grew, when they appeared, how they tasted, how they made your body feel, how they showed up in certain seasons or certain months as if by magic. It's the time of year that we need herbs to support cold and flu, and voila, right? There they are. Herbal knowledge was relational, slow, embodied, and because of that, it was deeply, deeply trustworthy. When you know a plant through relationship, you don't panic. You don't panic when things change. You adapt, you listen, you respond. That is herbal wisdom, not memorization. And when I say that herbalism is about relationship, I don't mean anything abstract or inaccessible. Relationship means understanding how the whole plant works, not just one action. Turmeric for inflammation, right? Elderberry to ward off cold. We learn how the body responds. We learn about the whole plant, not just the immediacy. We learn to observe patterns, and we're not chasing symptoms. And we learn if something is supportive to an individual or not. It's the difference between asking what herb fixes this versus what is it that my body needs right now, and which plants can help me. They can help me meet that need. Relationship allows for nuance. It allows for energy and emotion and heartfelt relationship to come into the equation. It allows for sensitivity, and at its core state, it allows for your inner wisdom to shine. It allows you to trust yourself. Foundations are really what makes this possible. When you have a foundation in herbal medicine, you start thinking like an herbalist. You learn how to assess rather than to just select and react to herbs. You start working with the body and not against it. And without these foundations, herbalism can feel rigid and scary. It can keep you stuck inside of a recipe, right? Not trusting yourself. This is why so many women feel like they're dabbling. Not because they aren't serious, but because no one ever gave them the grounds beneath their feet to stand in their place as herbalists. Foundations are not what limit your creativity. It's actually what frees it. You know, the part that really doesn't get talked about enough is that learning herbalism is not just educational, it is an initiation. At some point, the question in your mind and in your heart is, am I someone who tries herbal remedies, or am I becoming the woman who knows how to work with the plants? And that shift doesn't happen through more recipes. It happens through relationship and guidance. It happens through community, through repetition, right? Working with the same plant over a period of time, knowing the flavor and what the tea tastes like or what the tincture tastes like with that herb. It comes from reflection and being held in a path, not with having scattered information and recipes all over the place. This is where your confidence as an herbalist is born. And it's not a loud confidence. It's not about performance or getting it right. It is a quiet, quiet confidence of a woman who knows. If you've been circling around herbalism for years, and if you're getting tired of the guessing, if you know that this is something more than a hobby, right? The plants have come in and they have taken over your heart and your mind, and you're feeling it. You know, that's what happens in herbal medicine. Maybe we begin with the recipe. Maybe we are growing a plant and we tincture it, or we dry it and bring it in and make a preparation or use it in our cooking. And then all of a sudden the plants start coming into our lives more and more, sharing with us. I want you to know this true fact that no matter where you are on your herbal journey, you are not behind, you are not late, and you absolutely are not missing anything essential. You've simply been waiting for a way to learn that feels like coming home, where things are easy and you feel the ability to have the information that you need inside of you and in a support. Herbalism is not about collecting remedies. It's about remembering relationship. And when that relationship begins, everything falls into place. If you'd like to walk this path with structure, guidance, and depth, and not overwhelm, I share more about that on videos, on my website, and everywhere that you can find me. There is no rush. There is no pressure. This is simply opening the door to your own intuitive path to develop the depth of knowing that is waiting for you. I'll see you soon.